What's going on, Knucklehead? She Cam Gaming here with another LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed video for you. And today I have the update, I guess, 11. They're calling it update 11 patch notes. So what happened was I was calling the last Classic Space update 11. It was actually update 10.5 apparently. Don't know why they're really going with this weird numbering system. So yeah, update 11 is coming. We got a Spooky Army Halloween update. A lot of cool stuff really coming in this update. Before I get into the kits and the good stuff, obviously you can see the evil wizard over here on the screen right now. Let me talk to you about exactly what's going on with this update. So, they are adding a new tag, the Spooky Army tag. And from what it looks like is, these new characters are going to be from the Fantasy Castle line. So it'll be the Evil Wizard and 3 new skeletons, which I actually really like to be able to do a whole skeleton team. Very unique looking skeletons too. They're not all like just like plain old like Yorick. And I think Yorick and Zombie are also going to have the Spooky Army tag added to them, similar to how like Private LaCoy added the LaCoy tag. I know for a fact both of them got some synergy updates to do with the Spooky Army. Particularly Yorick has some really cool Spooky Army updates. So I think the main team of 5 is going to be Yorick, the other 3 skeletons, and this evil wizard here. The downside is, and Seiko was talking about this in the chat, he's like, listen, like you're releasing all 4 of these 4 new characters in this update, which is awesome, right? They're all coming out in a brick pace, right? If they said, hey, we're gonna add a node to the Monolith Waste for one of these new characters. Just one of them. That would have changed a lot. We're gonna add one of these to the Monolith Waste, one of these to the Monolith Waste shop, one of these to the guild shop, one of these to the arena shop, and the other one will be exclusively to the brick pace. Let's put them all in the brick pace. Sure. We've been doing that for a while now. I don't mind that. But you're going to be able to farm the rest of the other ones somewhere else. Didn't necessarily happen that way. Maybe they'll rethink it within the next couple weeks. You know, he did kind of chew into them and say, listen, there's so many really cool new teams coming out. You got Classic Space, you've got Imperials, and you've got the Costume team. Costume has been out the longest. I'm using Costume. My Imperials aren't strong. My Classic Space isn't strong like that. So it's just... excuse me. Got a lot of phlegm in my throat right now because I'm like tearing up from the path of the game. It's just really hard to get to use these new characters, and only the whales are really getting to enjoy them. And, you know, even then, I'll see them at the top of my arena, or I'll see them in my tournaments, and it just, you know, it sucks. Because I don't have them anymore. I don't have all the up-to-date. I'm not going to wail on the game. I still don't think the game is really worth wailing. You know, the one thing I do like is, like, I can still run my collectibles, which I wailed on, right? I said, this is going to be my team. And they're still viable. And I can still win with them and still hold high ranks in arena and do pretty well in tournaments. And I'm fine with that. I like... They're doing a great job of putting out balanced content and balancing the meta in terms of what can be and can't be used. Right, but people are still using Magisto's Tower and Trader Transport because they can't get these other characters up free to play, right, fast enough. So I mean, there's arguments to be made on both ends. I just wish it was, I don't know. I wish that they were farmable elsewhere besides just a brick pace. I've complained in the past. I don't like that figures are just coming out for brick paces. It's like there's got to be different ways to acquire new figures. Putting them in the shop, even if they did an unboxed for a couple of them, just to start you off, that would have been better in my opinion. But let's get into it because these characters are really cool. These synergies are really great. And I'm super excited about the new Spooky Army tag, which is going to be different than Spooky. So I'm assuming these are all going to have Castle, Spooky Army, and Spooky. But Malik the Malign is also probably going to have magical because he is another magical dark arts wizard here, right? So the Master of the Dark Arts commands an army of skeletal pawns. They are the closest thing he's ever had to friends, which is not very close at all. That's kind of sad. So they didn't do what I wanted him to do with like the resurrection of things, where you resurrect fallen allies as skeletons or, you know, whatever. I thought that would have been a cool way to integrate those generic skeletons that they use in the game, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at what he actually does. So his basic is honestly seriously like broken. 70% damage to a target foe, right? Decreases their pet by 30%. So it's a basic that does a 30% pep decrease. Okay, that's pretty cool. Clears one random buff from the target foe. Okay, random is always a good way to kind of balance things out a little bit. If any buff cleared, 2 random allies assist for 50% damage. Jeez. I know it's only 50% damage and it's random, but keep in mind, this is a spooky character. This is a spooky magical character. Probably going to be wrong with like Slimer, right? Because everybody's running Slimer. Probably going to be run with these strong new characters that he's coming with. Willa, who's also throwing out debuffs. Ghost. I wonder if they're going to give Ghost the spooky army tag. There is no Ghost buffs in this, but maybe they'll give him the tag. I am seriously doubting it because they would have done some sort of balance changes for him. But still, Ghost is going to be viable with these guys. Friendless Fiend. Select a target hero. Deal damage to the target hero equal to 20% of their health. So it's like they're just going to take 20% damage, right? So they're going to lose 1/5 of their health. Target hero gains hardy and deals 100% damage to a random foe. Heals himself for 25% of his max health, and all his cooldown abilities are reduced. This is kind of confusing. So, is the target hero, is that an ally? Or is that an enemy? Or is it either? Because this seems like something that would be nice to do to an ally, right? I'll take 20% of your health, but you're going to gain hardy, and you're going to deal 100%, basically 100% damage assist. That random assist. Plus I'm going to heal myself for 25% of my max health. And I'm going to reduce all my cooldowns by 1. I'm wondering if, because we don't have any abilities besides heals that you target your own characters. There's no way to like target your own character and heals and buffs. Target your own character and hurt them. So I mean, it's, the thing is, it says target hero, not target foe. So it's making it seem like a lot of his abilities target your allies and don't really do much attacking. His only real direct attacking is coming from his black magic over here. Number 2 is Leech Life. Select a target hero. Deal damage to the target hero equal to 15% of their health. Gain himself, attack up 2 for 3 turns, deals 60% damage to all foes, heals all heroes for 80% of all damage dealt. Reduce ability cooldown of builder heroes by 1. Before I even go to the second part, again, select a target hero, not a target foe. You're going to select a target hero, deal them 15% damage, and then also heal all heroes for 80% of all damage dealt. Does that mean you're healing all heroes on both sides of the map? Does that mean you're healing all of your heroes, all allies? I don't know. This is, again, very unclear. Maybe comment section, you guys can clear some things up for me. This is just kind of seeming unclear to me. It doesn't look like a bad ability, right? Because you're going to, you know, I think that his thing is he hurts his allies to buff himself, which that makes sense to me, right? But then he's doing a 60% AoE damage to foes, and then all heroes for 80, heals all heroes. So he's going to heal his allies for 80%. The thing that's confusing me is, why is he doing 15% of somebody's max health to themselves and then heals 80% of all damage dealt? It just seems like it's probably going to cancel out that 15%. Okay, I think I broke it down to a way that makes sense. So it actually makes sense to me. Because I read over these before. I'm kind of breaking it down right here live with you guys. I do like that it reduces the ability cooldowns of all builder heroes by 1. Because if you're running this on a full synergistic castle, spooky whatever, spooky army team, yeah, they're all going to be builders. So that's actually kind of cool. All heroes gain speed up 2 for 2 turns. I like that. All spooky armor heroes gain critical chance up 2 and critical chance damage up 2 for 2 turns. And perform bonus attacks that deal 25% damage to a random foe. This is a lot going on, right? So you're going to pick a target on your team. Give them, they deal 15% of their max health, they lose. What's this guy's name? Malik. Malik is going to gain attack up 2. He's also going to AoE 60% damage to all foes. 80% of the damage that he deals, which we know from Garmadon, AoE damages that also heal do a lot of healing, right? Then he's going to take 80% of that damage dealt and heal and AoE heal the party. Plus, reduce all their cooldowns by 1 because they're all going to be builder heroes. Then, they're all going to gain speed up 2. They'll all be spooky army, so they'll all gain crit chance up 2 and critical damage up 2. And on top of that, I'm assuming after gaining those buffs, they'll all get a 25% damage assist to a random foe. So that's a pretty sick ability. I'm actually pretty hyped for this character. I'm curious to see how he's going to do on a Magistos Tower team. Like a magical... Because now you can run a full magical Magistos Tower team. But I still would probably rather run it with some spooky characters, i.e. Slimer built in there. But he's also got a passive. Oh, and his ultimate was postponed. I didn't see that when I looked through this. A postponed ultimate. So I guess they're going to add an ultimate to him later. His passive. Spooky Army. Spooky Army speed is increased by 3% for each Spooky Army hero on the team. So he has an AoE that's going to give everybody speed up 2, and his passive gives everybody 15% on a full Spooky Army team. That's what we're talking about here. 15% speed boost. So this is going to be comparable to Classic Space speed, right? I don't know what anybody's base speeds are, but this is going to be comparable. Whenever any debuff is cleared from a foe, by the way, he does that with his basic, damage all foes for 3% of their max health. The damage dealt is non-lethal. So let me get this straight. His basic removes debuffs. And then when his basic removes a debuff, it AoEs 3% damage, non-lethal, to all enemies. Which it adds up. 3% is 3%. When Reaper is defeated, he's going to gain damage immunity for 2 turns. When Grimhelma is defeated, heal himself for 50% of his max health. Grimhelma is the tank, by the way, so probably going to be one of the first ones to go down. When Scully is defeated, gains 50% attack and 50% critical chance. So when the attacker, which is Scully, which you guys will see, goes down, he becomes the attacker. His attack goes up by 50% and his critical chance goes up by 50%. Right? So when your squishy attack, if your squishy attacker, which you're also going to see is sick nasty, goes down, he becomes sick nasty himself. When Yorick is defeated, he gains prepared, speed up 2 for 2 turns, and critical damage is increased by 100%. His crit damage now does 100% more crit damage. So if he was doing 200% on crits, he's now doing 300% on crits. And if Scully went down, his crit chance is also up by 50%. And the ultimates, which kind of actually looks like it does what I really wanted to do. Reassemble one spooky hero with 60% health. Clear all buffs from enemy team, including fear. Inflicts fear to all foes for 3 turns. Okay, so as if that wasn't sick enough, right? Right, because he's just stripping buffs and reviving. That could have been just good enough as an ultimate anyway. Then it's going to deal 150% damage to all foes and 10% bonus damage per each debuff on the enemy teams. And it's going to inflict Bricked for 3 turns plus Debilitate. For each defeated foe, this ability reassembles another random hero with 60%. If he kills people, right? Anyone he KOs will also reassemble. So this guy is meant, you just need him to survive to get to his ultimate no matter what happens to the rest of your team, and you're going to win when he has his ultimate. Now it says it's postponed. I'm assuming it's postponed because I know they mentioned ultimates were really tough to animate for them and it took a lot of time. So they probably don't have an ultimate animation yet, but this is somebody who's going to have this ultimate. I'm going to get more details on that. They didn't really give us too many details. They just kind of dropped us the kits randomly today. But that's, you know, that's what it is. All right, let's check out Reaper, right? The healer of dark arts casts a grim shadow with or without the hood and robes. So I like this character a lot. I like the hooded skeleton thing. And insanely interesting kit, I'll tell you that. So the basic is unlike anything I've ever seen, right? You don't target anyone with this basic. It deals 70% damage to 3 random foes. That's it. You don't get to choose who he hits with his basic. That's just whatever. But it's cool. It's interesting, right? He's also getting 3 attacks. So I think that, yes, he's getting 3 attacks on his basic, but you don't get to pick where they go. And it's only 70% damage. But he's still, you saw the buffs that they could possibly get. He's still getting 3 attacks, right? That's 3 chances to crit. Wait, there's more. Has a 70% chance to inflict speed down 2 for 2 turns. Pretty good. 45% chance to inflict disarm for 1 turn. So a low, below 50% disarm, but still, it's on a basic, so I'll take it. High chance for speed down, though, on a team that's getting speed up a lot. Bringing your speed up and their speed down, speed kills in this game. If they have time bombs, there's a 50% chance to reduce the duration by 1. Okay, that's also really cool. Because you're going to see he has ways to give out time bombs, but now he might have some synergies. You could play him with a Buccaneers type team if you really want to do that. Play him with Gov, play him with Redbeard, play him on the Forbidden Island. So you could have some cool stuff doing with that. This is my favorite thing because this part is, I think this is the devs straight up trolling Jester. If the foe is Jester Gogo, deals 100% bonus damage to him. Right? So Jester Gogo, who has not been relevant in the meta for over a year, probably because the human being with the screen name on Discord, Jester Gogo, is such a troll to the devs. They actually put this ability in where this character just will melt Jester Gogo if he comes across him. I like that, punishing Jester. And then he's got Life Drain. Deals 50% damage to a foe with the lowest health. Again, you do not get to choose your target for this. In a way, you don't get to pick someone and target them, but if you see somebody has the lowest health, you know so you know who you're going to be hitting. It's not really your choice. Heals all heroes for 15% of Reaper's max health, so it's a little bit of an AoE heal, which this team seems to have a whole lot of little heals that help them out a lot, I'm sure. All enemies take damage equal to 10% of their max health. Okay, so again, they love this base percentage damage thing, which they kind of put out with Spaceman Allen, and they like to do it here with the new Spooky Army team. I like this. 10% damage AoE to everyone, so you're just going to lose 10% of your health, and we're going to get 15% of Reaper's health will be an AoE heal. Reduces all ability cooldowns of builder heroes by 1. So again, this team, what I'm noticing them a lot of is buffing each other. Base damage, like percentage base damage that doesn't have to do with... So not non-stat base damage, just health percentage base damage. And cooldown reduction, which is really good for builders, which they obviously are all going to be. And then Special 2. Deals 70% damage to all foes, so 70% AoE. Inflicts heal block 1 for 2 turns and 1 to 2 stacks of time bomb for 4 turns on all foes. That's guaranteed, right? 1 to 2 stacks of time bombs guaranteed for 4 turns. But don't time bombs count down after 3 turns? I guess these are longer time bombs. So maybe his time bombs are a little bit longer that he inflicts. And deals 100% bonus damage to foes with health up or heal over time. heal over time is a pretty common little buff that people have been getting. Especially those collectibles, those costume collectibles. I'm seeing some punishment for my team right now. I like this. The guy is, you don't really get to pick a target. And it's interesting. But he does do some really cool stuff. But I see the downside, the drawback, which I do like, that is you don't really pick who you're targeting with him. So it's kind of tough to strategize. But the passive is pretty cool. Whenever a foe taunts, all heroes gain defense up and damage block 1 for 1 turn. So if you're going to use a taunter, well, we're going to get defense up 2 and damage block for a turn. Whenever a foe or hero is defeated, heal all allies for 10% of Reaper's max health. So whenever somebody dies, your team gets a 10% AoE heal. Whenever a spooky armor hero is defeated, heal all heroes for 15% of Reaper's max health. All heroes gain payback for 2 turns. So I guess when a spooky army hero goes down, everybody's going to gain 2 turns of payback plus 15% AoE heal. And the cool thing is, if a foe is defeated, everybody gains 10% health back. So that's really cool too. This is a cool character. I'm with it. I'm liking this so far. Grimhelma, the tank. This tank protects her skeletal and spooky allies at all costs. Because if she fails, she'll just be resurrected. That's true. This character is literally sick. Like, sick. Broken Bones deals 100% damage to the target foe. If the target have 2 or more debuffs, copy 1 random debuff from target foe to all other foes. Okay, that's a nice, like, generic, basic, pretty cool. If a target foe has 3 or more buffs, this attack is a guaranteed critical hit, and there's a 70% chance to inflict debilitate. That's sick. You could have literally heal over time, like a useless buff, and you're getting guaranteed crit from this character, plus a 70% chance to be debilitated. Buffs are very common in this game, right? This team definitely will punish you for having buffs, especially useless buffs, because not every buff is that good. Bone Shield clears all debuffs from herself and heals 12% of her max health, and 8% bonus heal for each debuff cleared. Right? So it's a cleanse. It's a self-cleanse, which I love that. It's always great to have a character that can self-cleanse, especially a tank. Right? It's going to clear them all. She's going to get bonus heals for the more debuffs that she clears, so that's great. Going to gain taunt for 2 turns. That's really good. Damage block 2 for 1 turn. Oh, okay. I love taunts that can gain tanks that can gain damage block and taunt at the same time. Defense 2 up for 2 turns. Oh, okay. Max health 2 up for 2 turns. Oh, okay. Wow. So when you taunt with Grimhelma, you are really becoming a super tank, right? Plus, she's probably gonna have really good stats. All spooky army heroes gain critical chance up 2 and critical damage up 2. So we're seeing lots of ways to get more crit chance and crit damage. This thing's gonna be dealing out a lot of powerful crits that are gonna be doing more than regular damage. Apply taunt for 1 turn to a foe with the lowest health. That's my favorite part, right? Whoever is the weakest, right? There might be an enemy who's just barely hanging on, right? Maybe hanging on under stealth, just got a hardy save right on the Magisto's tower. Well, I'll just use Bone Shield, and you now have taunt, and you're gonna die, right? Because your stealth will be gone, you're currently taunting, and I'm gonna kill you. I think that's how it'll work. Either way, it's a really great way to get around those things. Swirling Skeleton. There's that dog in the background. Deals 40% damage to all foes 3 times. What? And inflicts attack down 2 for 1 turn, defense down 2 for 2 turns to all foes. So basically, 3 40% hits. So 120% total damage, but the reason that the 3 times is cool is it's going to get past any hardy, anything, right? That's going to keep them from staying alive. Any Magistos. This is the Magistos Tower killer right here. Because, okay, you got a little bit of health, bam. Oh, your stealth, bam. Oh, you're hardy, bam, whatever. You're hardy, your stealth, bam, 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 you're dead. It's actually doing 3 separate attacks. Very, very cool. Plus, there's a 20% chance to inflict disarm. That's a nice little, like, I love when they sprinkle little stuff like that. And, like, it's probably not going to do this, but, hey, it might. So we're just going to sprinkle that in there. And plus, she also gains taunt for a turn. It's another way for Grimhelma to gain taunt. She's got 2 abilities that can put taunt on her. Obviously, the Bone Shield is the one you want to get, because the Bone Shield is giving you the massive buffs plus the 2-turn taunt. But if it's not available and your taunt gets cleared from Bone Shield by like Scarlet or Wu, you want to get it back and keep Malik alive. This is actually a really good way of going about doing it. And then passive. I noticed they're only doing single passives this time around. Undead Protector. At the start of battle, Grimhelma's defense is increased by 6% for each spooky army hero. Okay, so this is a 30% defense increase on a full spooky army team, on top of all those buffs she's getting from Bone Shield when she taunts. This is going to be a tanky tank that is tanky. Spooky army heroes... Spooky army heroes, grit is increased by 20%. So everyone else is getting 20% more grit. And at the start of the turn, if Grimhelma has taunt, they really need to work on their English here. Grimhelma has taunt, heal herself for 15% of her max health. Whenever she's taunting, she also gets a 15% heal at the beginning of her turn. Okay. Because she needed that. Oh, but there's more. When Grimhelma taunts, she gains 1% critical damage for each spooky army hero. Okay, so she's getting 5% critical damage. Whatever. It's a little bit more damage. 5% critical chance. Now, I think it's just 5% critical chance, not per spooky army hero, because it doesn't say that. So 5% critical chance, and if it's a full spooky army team, 5% critical damage when taunting. When a foe taunts, Grimhelma gains attack up 2 for 2 turns, and inflicts defense. Okay, if you got the nerve to taunt against the spooky army team, well, she's going to boost her attack up, and your defense as the tank is going to go down by 30%. She's going to inflict defense down 2 for 2 turns. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. All right, on to Scully, the attacker. A sneaky attacker who chains crits while attacking from the shadows. Also called Bag of Bones. Okay, so I actually already like this character. The harder they fall, deals 100% damage to a target foe, 70% chance to inflict vulnerable. That alone is a sick basic, right? If the target foe is a tank, the attack is guaranteed critical hit. Come again? What kind of people use taunts? Tanks. So wait a minute. On this full spooky army team, if I taunt against them, I'm going to lose 30% of my defense, and their attacker, who's probably got an insane amount of attack, gets an auto crit on me. Plus, when he gets that auto crit, he's going to gain 40% pep and probably do it again before I even get to go. Cool. Yeah, that's real cool. That's insanely cool. Cool in both ways. Of like, it's cool, like, wow, that's broken, but it's also cool, like, it's a cool ability. Shadow Strike gains stealth for 2 turns. I like that. Anyway, you can get so he's kind of like a Verta or Highwayman. So this will probably be his opening gambit here. 90% damage to target foe, right? So it's a big hit. Plus 5% for each buff on the enemy team. Jesus, that's 5% per buff. So maybe this isn't an opening gambit. Maybe this is a wait till the other team's heavily buffed and then do about 200-300% damage thing, because you're talking about 5% per buff, right? So 10 buffs on the other side, you're getting 50% damage. Heal heroes for 30% of damage dealt. Okay, so it also is going to AoE heal. The attacker on this team heals. Like and he's got a big heal. Well, it's 30% of... Yeah, it's 30% of damage dealt from an attacker. It's going to AoE it, right? So that's solid. If Malik is on the team, heal him for an additional 30% of the damage. Malik is also getting 60%. Malik's going to be tough to kill, because this team is all about supporting Malik and keeping him alive. Siege Skeleton. passive 1. So he does have a double passive, but he only has 1 special. If a target foes has defense up, speed up, or skill up, any attack is a guaranteed critical hit. So basically, this guy is going to be divvying out crits, right? Because skill up is another one of those abilities that kind of they've worked into a lot of different kits to make it useful other ways, but it's really not that useful of a buff. Skill up, speed up, defense up, any type of buff, you're going to be getting critically hit. When performing attack, if the target foe has vulnerable, heal himself for 40% damage dealt. So he can also self-heal if the person has vulnerable. That's pretty cool. But he also has a passive 2, Sneaky Spooky Skeleton. When Scully has stealth, his crit damage increases by 35%. Wait a minute. Doesn't this guy have basically 2 guaranteed ways to crit? Right? Actually, 4. There's 4 guaranteed crits. If you're a tank, if you have defense up, if you have speed up, if you have skill up, or 5 actually, if you have vulnerable, which he gives out on his basic. So he's getting 35% more damage as long as he does this while he's under stealth. On turn start, okay. On the start of his turn, increase attack by 5% for each debuff on the enemy. He also gets a 5% stat increase per debuff on the enemy he's attacking. On the enemy team. Not just the enemy he's attacking, on the enemy team. At the start of Scully's turn, refresh her attack stat based on the debuff number. So her attack stat is probably still pretty good, but it goes up depending on how many debuffs are on the other team. It's going to change every turn. When Scully deals damage to any foe with 70% health or less, which is when you're looking at a lot of percentage-based, not stat-based damages from this team, that's pretty likely. There's a 70% chance to perform a bonus attack, right? So if you hit someone who's below 70% health, he has a 70% chance to also hit them again. On performing a critical hit, gain 10% critical damage. So he's just always going to have 10% critical damage. And then we got some balance changes to Yorick, right? So Yorick, they gave him a 70% chance to inflict defense down 1 for 2 turns, 15% bonus chance to inflict a debuff. There's not really too much going on with Yorick. What I do want to talk about is the Spooky Army changes, right? So basically his Bone to Pick gets 15% bonus damage for each Spooky Army hero. So it goes from a 70% damage to 145% damage on that attack. So this now on a Spooky Army team becomes insanely strong. Jolly Bones, Spooky Army heroes gain critical chance up 2 for 2 turns. That's another nice little buff that the critical chance up that the Spooky heroes are also getting from Yorick. And what I really like is he gains 5% speed for each active Spooky Army hero. Yorick was already one of the speedier skeleton characters, or the speedier Spooky characters. He's going to be really, really fast on this Spooky Army team. And then Zombie got some debuffs as well. I'm pretty sure they added Spooky Army to Zombie. 80% chance to copy a debuff, and chance to copy 1 debuff from himself to a target foe and another random foe. So that's a little bit of a buff to his basic. 60%, he heals for 60% of damage dealt. I think that's a buff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's a nerf. And this is the one thing I really do like. Whenever Zombie is reassembled, his attack is increased by 15% for each active Spooky Army hero. So again, if he dies first on a Spooky Army team, and he has Spooky Army, which I believe he's going to be, you're talking about another 75% damage increase, I believe, right? 30, 60, 75. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited about this team, but I'm not, because it's like, I'm not going to have them. They're really cool. I don't want to wail and spend any more money on this game like that. It's just not something that I am personally going to do. This is a cool team if you want. I think if you're a new player just getting into the game, this is something great to work towards. I'm hoping that
These skeletons are going to be available elsewhere besides the brick paste. I don't think they should all be brick paste exclusive, but we'll see how things turn out. It's nice to see Yorick get a buff. It's nice to see a spooky skeleton army be available, and hopefully we get more chances to use them. You know, we know we got raids coming. We know we got new game types, a Brickspedition rework. The game is on a good track right now in terms of they're putting content out. They have a good flow of new characters. I like what they're doing. And now that they're in that good flow, they just have to get a little bit more going. Right? Once they have this like kind of streamlined, I think they'll start putting out new game types. I think this game has the potential to make a comeback. It's just not there yet. Well, that's pretty much all I got for today, Knuckleheads. Please remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that little bell for some notifications, and as always, remember to knuckle up.
We real